I was popping, everybody. Welcome to episode 23, 24, give or take.
Who cares?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter at this point.
Yeah,
It's just
honestly.
a number. Age
Yeah.
is just a number.
Yeah,
I'm gonna stand with y'all.
yeah, and I've messed up on the episode number probably like 3 times.
So,
It happens.
age is a number. Do you guys? It shouldn't like hold a social construct or anything
Yeah,
like that.
it's just a
What
number.
do you
It's
guys
kinda-
think about that?
It's kind of arbitrary. I think it is a good indicator sometimes. Like,
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
like
definitely.
you need to know if someo's like in their 20s or in their 50s. But
Yeah.
other than that,
or 18 or 16. You know,
Yeah, you gotta-
it's very
yeah,
important
for
ages.
legal
Very,
legal reasons, yeah.
very important ages.
I'm always even thinking about that. It's facts though.
Yeah. Age definitely is just a number because there are times where like I feel some elders aren't as intellectual as like younger people. For example, like I feel like a lot of the not to call it the boomers, but a lot of like the boomers just aren't like spiritually there, like woke, like they aren't really understanding of what's going on around them, and like
I agree.
and then there's people our age who are just like absolute geniuses, and it's just like I'm honestly excited to see what our generation does to the world.
Dude, I honestly think for some of the boomers, it's just early onset Alzheimer's.
I'm not.
But for a lot of them, it's just the culture and the generation that they.
It
grew
is.
up
Yeah,
in, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
definitely.
It is the culture.
They did
Yeah.
grow up in such a different environment than we did.
Insane,
Like, think about that.
insane.
A lot of like our parents like were in college in like the 80s and they just got fucking destroyed. So now
yeah,
they're
yeah.
like trying to like put shit back together, like,
Yeah.
and they're like telling our generation like don't fuck up. But in reality, like every generation is gonna like
Fuck up.
themselves up.
Yeah,
to a
it's
certain
just-
point.
it's just
They
a
fuck
learning
up.
experience.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone learns that unless you just learn from other people's mistakes.
which is
Yeah.
kind of dope sometimes.
It's good.
But it's really hard.
It's
A lot of
really
people
hard because
cannot
you
do
have
it.
to
Most
experience.
people can't do it.
You have to experience something to really learn a full
Yeah,
lesson.
Exactly.
I can't do it.
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
for certain instances. It's
I
like
mean, like petty shit, I definitely can. But like life lessons, like you can't learn a life lesson from someone
Yeah,
else's
yeah.
life.
You
I mean,
have to
you
learn it.
can, but
It's
you have to go through it
Yeah,
for it to mean,
yeah.
for it to go. For
it'll
it to really mean
resonate
that.
with you
Exactly.
like that much more if you
Yeah.
do it.
like
If you
someone
go through it yourself.
someone learning to not be depressed. Like you can't learn that from someone else's experience of
Exactly.
it.
Yeah.
Like you have to
Exactly.
waste all that time yourself to
Yeah.
learn it, to be able to understand.
Yeah.
Like wow, my time
Dude,
is
it's just a different. It's a different level of understanding that you have when you went through it. Like
yeah, definitely.
obviously, like it wouldn't be hard for us to like think about how it would feel like to lose the NBA Finals, but like the people that have actually been through it,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's a whole different type of
probably
understanding.
tough, bro.
Yeah.
Like imagine, did you see the World Series the other day? Did you see the
I'm
ending
not
of
a
it? All right,
baseball
guy, no.
so it's the last inning. Tampa Bay is, I think it's tied. It's either tied or Tampa Bay's down by 1, and they hit literally just a grounder to center field or right field, and the dude has one job, and it's to pick up the ball and throw it. The dude fucking gets it in his glove and he like throws it. So like he has to chase the ball, and then he throws it into the cutoff man. The cutoff man throws it to the catcher. The catcher drops it. And so that's 2 errors on the defense. And the dude who was running home fell in between third base and home. So there was 3 errors on the play, and Tampa Bay still ended up scoring, and that's how they won.
Oh my
So imagine being
That's
this,
just hard to watch.
like the catcher
Yeah.
literally gets the ball and goes like, and can't find the ball.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like imagine that. Imagine that being you.
Dude, it's insane that both teams fucked up. Like
Horrible.
If they wouldn't have fucked
Horrible.
up, then that dude would have fell, and then they would have got the out.
There was
Like,
3 fuck ups, and like, and just imagine being one of the dudes that caused your team to lose a World Series game.
Yeah.
That'd be a tough pill to swallow, man.
Yeah, bro, like, or J.R. Smith when he fucking passed it, or passed
He
it
didn't
over.
know how much time
Yeah,
was left.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my God.
Like, damn, bro. But it's just one of those things. It's just one of those things that we can't really compensate for until you
Yeah.
experience it.
Gosh, damn.
And there's so many things out there like that. Like,
Dude, that reminds me kind of when people talk about how much game-winning shots Jordan has missed.
Yeah.
Like, he's missed way more
Yeah.
than he's hit, and like
yeah.
it's crazy that like he's been in that situation so many times.
And he's still taking them.
yeah, I
you know,
mean he still wants it. Like,
You
he
still
wants
gotta,
it.
like, you can't let missing destroy your confidence, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if have we talked about going, if you're going 0 for 9 or
Yeah.
going like 1 for 20 is better?
Mhm.
Because like that means you stopped shooting when you were 0 for 9 and you lost your confidence.
Exactly.
So like, I feel like just because you go up to someone and you get shut down does not mean you should lose your confidence.
Yeah.
Like the next person you see is a totally different person, a totally different game, a totally different scenario where like you have the chance to hit the half court buzzer beater. You know, like
Yeah, dude, and the kicker is you can teach yourself to get inspired by not making it. Like
Right.
those people,
Right.
those people that fail, and then they just get more excited to do it the next time.
Dude.
Yes, because you're that much closer to succeeding.
You're like, okay, I know how to do that. Like, I know what I'm doing
and
now.
you like, say you're spitting game, like you try out all these different like one-liners or
Right.
whatever. Like you figure out what works, what doesn't, and like in the process of doing that, you just can't give a fuck. Like you
can't.
gotta keep sending
No
shots
fucks.
out.
No
You know?
fucks.
And eventually,
One of them's gonna hit. One of them's gonna hit.
Yeah,
One of-
I mean, you gotta keep shooting.
Exactly.
Bro, I was just talking. I made a TikTok the other day about using like your fear to motivate you.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like I was at the gym, and I was in my own head for some reason, and then I use that to motivate me. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna prove myself wrong. Like I'm gonna show everybody wrong. Like I'm gonna like come out of this stronger than anyone ever expected me to, and that like pumped me up. I was like, like I love
know.
it. Like I love this
The
pain. It was-
self-motivation,
yeah.
dude. I was running this morning at like 6:30 and screaming. I was screaming
Oh my
outside.
God.
Like, let's fucking go! Like, this is all you. Let's go.
No way.
Damn.
It like
That had to have been
adrenaline
dope.
that rushed through me after that, and like my endorphins were rushing so much. It felt
Bro, that
so
probably
good.
was insane.
It was
at
sick.
6 in the morning. I woke up at 6.
6:30.
I woke up at 6 this morning. I was laying in my bed. I was like, I could definitely get up right now. I could definitely.
Yeah.
But my room's so fucking dark. Like I'm always gonna use that as my excuse as long as I'm in the basement.
Excuses.
Dude,
Because-
let me. Hey, I didn't mean to cut
No,
you
you're
off.
good, you're good,
Let me
bro,
ask you
you're
guys a
good.
question. So you know how like when you get in the gym, you just said you're in your head, and then
Yeah,
you
yeah.
just flip that switch. Like, how do you guys just flip that switch? Like, what goes through your head when you flip that switch?
Honestly, I observe my negative emotion. Like I observe what it does to my body, and then I kind of like feed off of it. I'm like, damn, this is fucking crazy. Like I it's like when people are depressed, it's like they try to get out of it, but that they find comfort in the depression. It's so weird.
In some weird way.
So hard to describe. Like when you're depressed, you're laying in your bed and you're like feeling like shit. There's something about you that wants to do that.
Maybe
So-
because it's predictable. Maybe.
Same with anger
Yeah,
and
yeah.
sadness, like you said. Like those emotions release your neurotransmitters, which
Mm-hmm.
make you feel good in a way. It's a sick way of feeling good.
Dude, it's fucking bizarre. Like yesterday when I was in my own head heavy, like I was like, I want to call it sad. I don't even know what to call it. And like my something in my brain was just like not wanting to get out of that state. So then when I was in the gym, I was kind of having it like that, and I was
Yeah.
just like, I didn't even leave that state. Like I was still in that state. I just used it to my advantage. You know what I mean? So like I was like, all right, I'm gonna use this to fuel me because I'm not gonna avoid it right now because this was what my brain wants. So I'm just gonna use it to my advantage and not let it control me. I'm gonna control it.
That's powerful.
What would you say?
That
What would
is-
you say
I
yours?
swear that is powerful.
Dude, where I get a lot of my motivation from per se is honestly thinking about like how can I get a certain edge?
Mhm.
Like
The
who
edge.
else is out doing what I'm doing or
Tell
like,
them that one story about you getting in the cold water.
That's terrible. We were backpacking in the Adirondacks in New York.
Okay.
And it was like after 3 days, and I was just like I could literally smell myself. I was like disgusted.
Yeah.
So, and this was like 2 months ago. We found this river, and there was a waterfall, and it was literally a perfect setup for like a cold tub. And it was not a hot tub by any means. I hopped in that, and wow, like it had to have been in the 40s, and I was fucking shivering my ass off. But like I was just fully immersed in the moment, like soaking up all that cold water and energy that it was feeding me. It was like the
Yeah.
cold was giving me energy, and like I was just getting amped up. And it was so wild to just like feel those strong emotions, because like you don't feel that shit ever. Like when are you gonna find some mountain stream and literally bathe in it?
Dude, I was just thinking that. Like, that's such an insane stimulus. Like,
Mhm.
when does that ever happen to you when you're not doing exactly that?
Exactly.
Like-
Never.
Like
Like-
it won't happen if you don't go out of your way to make it happen.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
And that's like what I do, what I try to do, like waking up early to run. Like,
That's an edge.
how
That's an edge.
many more people are doing that? Like there's a very few percentage of the population who's doing that. So like I might as
And then you
well
don't go
just
back
do
to
it.
sleep either. You,
Oh, I
you
know.
stay awake the
You're
whole day.
Up for the day, you feel great.
That's
you're
crazy,
wired,
bro.
like,
Because like the way
Oh,
I'm like if I get up early like and I go on a run, I'm going to need to nap later in the day because like that's just how I'm built. Like
Yeah.
I just can't.
I'm good with that.
I mean, if I tried to do that for 21 days it takes to form a habit, I could probably do it, but it's just fucking brutal, bro.
It is.
So explain how you use that as your edge.
Like running and
No,
or
the cold bath.
Oh my god. Cold baths, cold showers.
Cold
like,
showers I can get behind.
Cold
I love
Can't do it.
those.
especially
Can't do
after
it.
a workout.
They really
you-
get the blood flowing.
You hop in it, and there's a certain science behind it. I'm not too familiar with it, but just what it does to your body, it can literally create. It just heals your body. It reduces all your inflammation.
Jesus.
That's one of the main things. And inflammation is the cause of a lot of illnesses and diseases.
Stress too.
Stress.
Like
it's
putting
all
ice on your wrist,
inflammation.
but your whole body.
Ice
Yes.
on my wrist.
But, like, the way it makes you feel, that's why I keep on doing it. And you like it's hard for me to explain because it's so personal. Like everyone else will feel different doing it.
Yeah.
But
Like
you-
it shuts down my body.
Yeah.
Like,
Also,
Dude,
I
it's
mean, the
sometimes-
way to cope with it is you have to breathe. It's all about your breathing.
that's honestly
Like,
facts.
It is 100%
yeah,
breath.
definitely.
It's breath work.
Dude, when I'd go up to my grandparents in Canada, like when it would get into the fall and the lake would become really cold, like, 40s is cold. It might have been like 50s or
Frigid.
something. Who knows? Maybe it got into the 40s, but like when you jump into the freezing cold water, like your instinct is just to stay still. Like your instinct is to stop moving completely and just become buoyant and just float.
Yeah.
And then like once you actually get moving around, it's like holy shit! I can really feel like it really makes you feel the cold water in a weird way.
You just
I have no idea how to
become the
describe
cold.
it.
You become the cold.
Yeah.
And
Wim
you're, like,
Hof.
okay with that. Yeah.
Wim Hof, the cold is my only teacher.
Which in
Some
a way,
crazy shit.
if you look at it and break it down, like what else is gonna teach you about discomfort? Like
Dude,
the
I
cold?
think-
nothing will teach you about discomfort like the cold teaches
Yeah,
you.
because no one likes to be cold.
No.
Dude, I think the thing about being in the cold water is you can only really enjoy it. Even like you can only really enjoy it if you actively decide that you want to experience it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the switch that has to flip. Is
Yeah.
you have to decide that you want that, even though it is
Exactly.
mad uncomfortable.
Dude, while you're talking about that triggers a thought about comfort. Like humans, it's just within our genetics to find ways to be comfortable at any given situation.
Wired for complacency.
Like me, if I was to go grab a blanket, like that, a thought triggered in my head, I'm cold. Let me go find something to get me more comfortable. Or like comfort eating.
Yeah, you're
I'm gonna
constantly.
smack a bag of potato chips because it's gonna make my dopamine receptors release into my body, and I'm gonna feel great. It's
Yeah.
all about comfort. But if you can recognize and like learn how to defeat that sensation of wanting to be comfortable and learning to be comfortable with the discomfort,
Chops.
that's dude, it's honestly
And you're
one of the keys to
constantly
life.
constantly searching for ways to be comfortable.
Yes.
Like that was one thing we were doing. Me and Ty, we were hanging out before everyone came over, and we were like, let's just observe how everyone tries to make themselves comfortable. So like everyone would do something else.
Weird science.
Yeah,
experiment.
yeah, and it was everyone would do something else to make themselves comfortable, and it was just
Yeah.
it was just crazy to think about because we never thought about it, and then everyone. I want to talk more about edges though, because I think having an edge is how you make it in this world because you have to have something that sets you apart from everybody else. So like, I don't even know what my edge would be. I think my edge would be literally
Spreading the knowledge.
yeah, well, like not giving a fuck, pretty much. I would say my edge is because so many people are reluctant to post on social media because they're afraid of judgment. So being able to, well, a lot of people don't give a fuck. So like, there's hella influencers
Yeah.
out there that don't give a fuck, but or maybe not desiring a relationship. I talked to you about that one time, where I'm like, even though obviously I talk about it, be like, yeah, that'd be dope. But being able to totally shut off the desire and be like, I'm totally cool by myself is such an
Yes.
edge
It
because
is.
so many people are like.
Where's my next girlfriend? Where's my next
I need
boyfriend?
affection. I need affection. I need love. But it's normal. It's not like the human biology craves that shit.
Right.
Yeah.
So what?
Edge or your niche.
So being able to find your edge. How would you say someone should find their edge?
Look for ways, like look for the fad or general population and look at like what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like what can you do differently from everyone else? So a lot of people don't read and like work on self-improvement. So
A lot of people don't.
that's where you go, okay, a lot of people aren't doing that, let me hop in it. Or
Yeah.
like a lot of a lot of people go to fast food. you know?
Reading one book a year is more than like 85% of the population.
Oh,
One
yeah.
book a year. Like, what?
Yeah,
That puts you in the 15 percentile, bro.
I heard somewhere that CEOs read 52 books a year.
Yeah, like one a week. One a
Yeah.
week. I've been trying to do that, but dude, it's not easy. Like,
Yeah.
you have to discipline the fuck out of yourself. You have time block. You have.
Yeah, definitely. Let me touch on this edge thing,
Yeah,
if you
yeah, yeah,
guys don't mind. So
for
I think
sure.
a lot of what it really comes down to is finding out what you're good at.
Mhm.
And a lot of times people are good at like obscure, like niche things. Like people are clearly not good at the same things. Like
Mhm.
as you can clearly tell, I'm not in the NBA. I'm also not on Wall Street, so if that says
You
anything,
can't solve Rubik's Cube.
I used to
Like,
be able to,
okay.
but not anymore. But yeah, and the only way you really can figure out what you like to do is if you explore.
Yeah,
And you
experiment.
need to explore. You need to go out. You need to try different things.
crucial.
You need to
Dabble
have
in it.
a plethora of different experiences so that you can
Definitely.
really dial in what you like. And
Definitely.
then once you do that, I mean, you just dedicate yourself to that, and the habits and like kind of the routines that you form, like that becomes who you are when you get older. Like as more time passes, what you are, like as you get older, what you are becomes more like what you are. Like right now, we're mostly potential.
Yeah, yeah.
But if we were in the
yeah.
same position and we were like 35, it'd be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, literally.
Like
literally,
as you
literally.
get older, like
Literally.
your habits and your actions and what you've done become more of what you are.
Yeah,
so,
they just get more defined.
I heard this
Yeah.
thing and it was like, who you are now is a result of your actions 5 years ago.
yeah,
I
facts.
was like, damn, because that's crazy. So like, what we're doing today is gonna determine who we are 5
Yeah,
years
like,
from now.
Little did we know the dumb shit we used to do, like
Yeah, holy shit. Like,
how all that led up to this.
Mm-hmm.
Like this
I
exact
feel like
moment.
I feel like it makes kind of sense though, because we did so much dumb shit that we learned from it,
yeah.
and we learned from all of our mistakes. So like, I found myself in such deep shit that the only way out of it was to like forgive myself like entirely.
Yeah.
And that takes like a lot to be able, because
Yeah,
like some of
that's true.
yeah, some of the shit I was just like, why would I even consider it? Like thinking about it now with like a total different perspective, I was just like, why would I even consider like that being a good idea?
Yeah.
But it takes that shit sometimes.
It
like,
does.
It'll be in your darkest days where you grow the most.
Right, and I think the same way who we were 5 years ago made us into who we are now. In the same way, it's like that's the same as how who we are now is gonna influence heavily who we are in 5 years.
Oh,
So it's like the things that we do now, and I think this is really a place where I draw a lot of my inspiration from and just motivation to do things, because I think, well, if I don't do it now, like, when am I gonna do it? Like,
Because
there's nobody
your
gonna
whole
do it
life is now. Your whole life is
That's what
literally
I'm
just
saying.
now.
Right
Like
now,
I,
present
like
moment.
the way I feel experiencing this very moment, I'm gonna feel the same way experiencing this very moment when I'm 40. I
Literally,
mean, what makes
literally.
me think that I'm gonna do it then if I can't do it right now? Like,
Literally, if
Yep.
you
if you don't do it right now, then you can't prove that you're gonna do it at all.
if you have the idea, take action as soon as you can. Because
Yeah.
other than that, if you don't, it's just going to dwindle down, and you're going to lose motivation to do it. So
Yeah.
Exactly. Like this is
Doing
a
it now.
perfect example. Us going to Colorado this winter. Like it was an idea at first. It was just a shaky idea. Like "Man, we should probably just go out there
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and ski.
Like, it wasn't a serious
Like,
plan.
And then you get like a one or two people who are like, okay, let's do it. And then like, let's plan this shit out. Let's write down this stuff. Like,
Yeah.
let's make it into our reality.
yeah,
And it's just taking the steps to put your ideas into reality.
Yeah. I think when you hesitate and don't do something, like, think about if we didn't go out west this year.
when would
and
you
it-
have time to do it?
Well, I mean, think about if we did it next year.
Mhm.
We would be admitting that we should have done it this year.
Exactly.
And I heard this one quote, and it was, if you don't start today, a year from now, you wish you would have.
Exactly. That's the exact
Yeah.
same point I'm trying to
Yeah,
make.
yeah. And oh fuck, I was about to say something about like hesitating. So like perfect example is skateboarding.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you're going up to ollie like a 9 stair, if you hesitate for a
Yes,
millisecond,
You're gonna
yes.
crash.
you're fucked.
Yes.
Like you have to, with every single endeavor that you ever find yourself going into, you have to 100% confidence. You're there 100%.
Even if you fail, just it's okay. Like
Yeah.
have the confidence and then fail. That's okay.
Literally.
At least you had the confidence.
Dude,
Yeah.
hesitating will kill you.
Dude, I think a perfect example of this is like X Games, like skiers
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
motocross dudes. Like,
Just thinking about
if
it.
they're going down the huge ramp, if they get in their head for a
A
split second,
millisecond, they're like, oh shit.
if they get psyched out at all,
Fucked.
then they're like getting fucked up. Like they're
Yeah.
fucking their bodies up. Like they have to really just
Fuck.
like be
Dude,
ready to fucking die.
Your
like,
personality creates your personal reality.
Yeah.
Like
Damn.
that is just so evident. Like,
Dude,
you could see that
literally
in so many
change
scenarios.
change what's inside and you change what's around you.
Like if you're a positive person, you're gonna view things as
Positivity.
just positive. Like if you're just negative and depressed, sad, anxiety ridden all the time,
You're just gonna-
like it's just not gonna be as beautiful for you, and you're gonna have a lot more negative stimuli come into your life.
because you're attracting it.
Yes.
You literally attract negativity by being negative.
Mhm.
So like,
That is weird. People who, I forget how the saying goes, but it's like people that are always focused on how people are victims always find themselves the next victim. Something like that. Like
sounds
if
right.
if you're always looking for it, then you're gonna see it. I mean, people see what they look for.
dude, that reminds me of never blaming anyone for like, never search for something to blame for. I personally take responsibility for
Yeah.
everything in
That
my life.
radical personal responsibility.
Everything's my fault. Everything is my fault because you have
Same here.
control over fucking everything.
You can only fix the things that you take responsibility for.
Like yeah,
Dude.
As
yeah.
simple as that. As simple as that.
I think like a key to maturity is just it is. One of the keys to maturity is taking responsibility.
looking for something to
if
blame.
If you are constantly blaming others, you're not mature.
Mhm.
You can't.
It's just period. You're not mature if you blame everyone
That's
else.
period. That is
You
period.
can't argue with that. If you can't take it on your own and put it on your own shoulders.
Like your emotions, your responsibility.
Yeah, I think I honestly really like that definition of maturity. Like, forget age, to tie this back to the beginning. Like, forget age. Like, you can be a mature 15-year-old.
9-year-old.
Yeah.
If you take the blame for shit that you do and be like, oh, what's this? Like no.
Oh no,
it's-
well, 9's pretty young, bro.
but if they're still
some
taking
people out
full
there.
responsibility for everything that goes,
They're
like
on the
if,
right path.
Like if they spill milk and be like, yeah, it's my fault.
Mhm.
Like damn. Like
the milk carton just
Yeah.
fell over on its
Yeah.
own.
oh, someone
Yeah.
pushed it. Like it's like being able to take responsibility, bro. Like that's such an edge.
Yeah.
That's such an
It's
edge.
also important to
fucking
not
edge.
take responsibility for things that you shouldn't, like
Yeah,
things that are out of
yeah.
your control.
For sure. For
Like-
sure. Like know when to not take
Yeah,
responsibility.
I feel like for as many people that have the problem of not taking responsibility for their own actions, like all the people that like shift the blame on other people, even though it was their fault. I'd say there's like a similar group of people that like suffer from the problem just the other ways. They just make themselves guilty for all the things that go on in the world, even though they didn't have any control
Yeah.
over them. And then that's kind of what drags them down in a weird way.
Yeah, I feel like you should always take responsibility for your actions,
Yeah.
but not for like if you get cheated on, it's probably not your fault.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you
yeah.
probably shouldn't take responsibility to be like, oh, I could have done something different. Like sometimes people are just fucked up and want to cheat on you. Like
Right.
you can't
Right.
like
Yeah.
they should take
That's
responsibility.
accurate.
They should take responsibility for that, but like that's just like we said, know what you should take responsibility
Yeah,
for.
I think it's safe to say people should take responsibility for their life outcomes. Like where you are in 5 to 10 years, even,
Is your-
even two,
your
that's your
responsibility.
fault.
Even
Like,
if you
it's
were
your fault.
given the absolute worst hand, which yes, like that is so unlucky, but you still can fight out.
Yeah,
of it.
don't use
And,
it as
like,
an excuse.
You can't, like, because the moment you use it as an
Dude,
excuse,
my mom, perfect example. My mom was homeless when she was growing up. Like, literally,
Yeah, bro.
like her parents got divorced, and she made a promise to her mom that she would stay with her no matter what.
Right.
So then my mom's mom sold everything that they had, like which was only like $4,000 worth of shit.
Mhm.
Goes down to Florida to find that the guy that they were moving in with had a different wife. So they go down there and they have nowhere to stay. So they live like in a trailer for like 2 weeks, and then they had to find a flight. It probably wasn't even $4,000, honestly, but they had to find a flight to get back home, and then their aunt let them stay in a trailer for like 2 years.
Yeah.
While her mom worked at Walmart and made cakes.
Yeah.
So my
yeah.
mom was able to make it from that to where we are now.
Yeah.
wow.
I think the
So-
amazing thing, and I
Per-
think like the real nugget of truth in that story is that kind of what you were saying earlier, being dealt a bad hand like can actually make you more resilient.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
having those conditions on you and like even times like financial restraints on you, like it will force you to be more
Creative.
innovative in doing the things that you need to do.
Yeah.
So sometimes those like I can think of like a handful of stories off the top of my head of like people who grew up poor, and because of that they feel like they never have enough, so they become like super wealthy, and it doesn't feel like enough because when they grew up they never had enough.
Yeah,
You know
so
what I mean?
you're
Like,
always striving for
Use
more.
it to your advantage.
Sometimes
Yes,
it can
bro.
turn into like a drive that's persistent throughout your life.
Use everything to your advantage. Like there's a way. Like
Yeah.
if she's not the only one that's came from that either. Like there's been so many people that have made it from disparity.
Even worse
Yeah.
situations
Yeah.
too, which is crazy.
Dude, I think
Crazy.
in the United States, particularly, like class mobility, like
It's insane.
Yeah,
It's anyone can make it to the top if you put your mind to it.
that's the American dream, bro. That's literally what it is.
Literally anyone can make it to the top if they put their mind to it. And like, especially nowadays, like if you're watching this video, probably on a smartphone, you have a better hand than so many people in
Dude,
the
if
world.
you have access to the internet, you can make $1 million.
Dead ass.
Like,
Everything
as
you
simple
need,
as that.
everything you need to know is on Google.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you can find it somewhere.
Yes.
Like you can learn how to run a $1 million dropshipping business from Google in YouTube.
Yes.
For free.
Yes.
For free.
Yeah.
And then you can reach out to people and say, hey, I'm struggling financially, but I would really love your help just advertising this. It doesn't have to be like a fat ass influencer. Maybe someone with just like 7,000 followers who has a good heart. Say, hey, could you just put this on your story for me? Like it would mean a lot. Like there's so many ways you just have to think outside the
Yeah,
box.
dude, I think just like a thing that, especially someone like me, like it's so important to just be reaching out like all the time. Like
Connections.
you got to reach out to the people that are like above you and like the people that you look up to, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Like because those are the people who are going to give you the best advice about your whatever
Yeah,
your craft may
like
be.
surround yourself with people that you would like to be. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like talk to people, surround yourself with because I don't know if I've said this on the podcast, but I definitely have. Surround yourself with 5 idiots, you'll be the 6th. Surround yourself with
Facts.
yeah.
I actually just thought of a crazy story off the top of my head. When I was a kid, so I played hockey for like over 10 years. And I remember one year I wrote like a letter out to Sidney Crosby when he played for the Penguins. And this dude actually wrote me back.
What?
And he gave me in the mail thing or in the envelope there was like a big card, like one of the extra big ones like this.
No
and it was
way.
signed by him too. Like, dude, it was so dope. That made me want to get back to the rink like that second.
Wow.
Like that nothing
That's
inspired me like
powerful.
that. Yeah, it was
That's
incredible.
Dude, that just goes to show you that you can contact anyone you want to contact with persistence. That was probably your first try though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's fucking
dude,
crazy.
Like a couple weeks later, I was just like, I mean, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it, bro. Like,
He
it's
probably
insane.
selected your card out of like 1,000.
He looked like a big dude just brings a big bag to him.
It's like,
He
I'm
just
doing
reaches-
one
he
today.
just reaches in.
All right, Jake Peets, what's up?
Jake Peets, Perrysburg, Ohio.
Steve Crosby here. What's up?
Dude, that's
He's a great guy, though.
Yeah.
Great dude.
that's crazy. All right, I feel like we can gash it right there.
Where we at?
27.
Oh, yeah.
That's a grip. That was a grip.
Let's do it to him.
Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed that. That was all off dome. We did not plan any of that.
It's a good conversation.
That was just a great combo. So I hope you guys enjoyed listening, took something from that conversation that you can implement into your life. And we appreciate your time. We appreciate your time.
Most definitely.
So we'll see you next time. As always, stay woke.